So through my recovery journey, I've included a ton of loved ones, but the one that comes to my head the most is my dad. Um, Growing up, my dad was an alcoholic. When I got into harder drugs, he was well aware of it. It was something that he had been involved in before I was ever born. And we were chaos. You put us together, we were chaos. I remember the first time that I got 90 days sober ever, which was a long time ago. I laughed. I belly laughed. Um, and he wanted that. He hadn't seen me laugh in years. And he wanted to know how I found that in me again. Because I think that he was starting to realize he was missing a big part of him too. So I brought him to a meeting. It was an open talk speaker, and he sat there the whole hour. And I'm happy to say that he stayed sober ever since. My dad will have 5 years sober in September, and that's a big deal. But he's probably the most important loved one that has walked with me through everything, through some relapses and my dad being like earlier in sobriety too. I've done some terrible things to him. I've robbed him. He's taken the bus to visit me in jail, to tell me, right, that he's not going to put money on my books, but that I can do this. And he just wanted me to know that he loves me, but he's not going to pay for my phone calls. My dad has been my biggest support system. Every yearly milestone that I've ever had, he presents me with a coin. He's my number one support. And he's the most important person in my life today that's sober. And I owe a lot of credit to my mom. I know that she never thought that us two would be sober together at the same time. And props to her for putting up with us for all of those years. But my dad is the most important loved one. I look up to him and respect him that he was able to get sober and stay sober from going to a meeting. He works really hard on himself. And he does all of the things that sometimes I struggle with, but he's that one person, right, that I can be honest with no matter what. I can call him and I can cry, and I can call him and I can scream. And I've called him from detox just to yell and tell him that I don't want him to say anything to me and then hang up, But he's that person that when I'm not in my right mind, I can always talk to him. He's like, has this weird way of like talking some sense into me at all times. And he also understands how my brain works. And he can also like point out my part, and I don't take offense to it when I do certain things. He's the best loved one I could ever have in sobriety.